I know there was someone on I want to say DeviantArt who was essentially like seriously designing costumes for each. Like they have, I think Soldier, the female soldier, it went through like 13 different redesigns before they finally settled on one. Just really,
Was it the same person?
considering. I think yeah, it's the same. They had an engineer and a
Yeah, it
scout, I
is. It
think
is.
too. But I haven't looked for a few months.
Yeah, I know last time I saw she had like a heavy, a medic, and a spy. The spy was actually a pretty cool concept. Like the heavy was just plain though.
Yeah.
Doesn't the heavy
If
kind of look
memory
like a
serves,
dwarf
she
female?
has everyone but the pyro. Ironic.
Yeah, I haven't checked in a while either. But
Well, the Pyro's as androgynous as TF2 gets.
I don't know about that.
yeah, speaking of pyro, does anybody feel the degreaser is about the best thing to the pyro since the nerf?
I don't even
Uh,
have a degreaser, so I couldn't say.
no. 5%
From my experience, like
afterburning
I'm
of
just
nothing is still nothing, so, it's not that big of a drawback for me, but 65%
yeah, and
weapon
even the
switch.
switching out, I can take out heavies in like 2 hits now, easy.
Yeah, I
And
got.
whenever they're
You can
makes them less of a hard counter. And other classes are just like nothing.
actually use Distinguisher to crit pyros now.
Oh, but you have a really small window for that, right? It's just like a second or
Yeah, but
so, no matter how long you do it.
I don't even think it's that. It's like half a second.
Yeah, either way, the
Look at
shotgun's better for that.
looking at the degreaser, it kind of seems like some really what a lot of the community might have wanted the pyro to be, like the less afterburn effect. Everyone rages when they happen to get breezed by a pyro when they're at half health, and they can't get somewhere in time to get health, and they end up dying. So it's got less afterburn, I believe. But also, I think
But that's
pyros
the
can
point of the pyro.
appreciate the added. I think the pyros can appreciate the extra utility from being able to switch weapons, which makes W mouse one a little less viable, whereas trying to have more dynamic play styles more makes more sense.
Oh yeah, especially because it rewards people that just don't go out there and burn people. But only downside really is it makes spy checking not harder, but it's less efficient because you can't just pass over them and they're dead. You have to actually follow them and air blast them into a wall or something to pin them in.
Or just chase them down with a shotgun or a extinguisher,
Oh yeah.
air
Well,
blast them up, and
actually,
then you have your quicker weapon switching to your extinguisher.
well, if you have the full weapon set from the attendant set, is it? Then you can actually use the higher move speed to your advantage there.
Isn't it like scout speed or something?
I think it's somewhere around medic speed actually, but isn't it like 10% bullet vulnerability at? Yeah, I think the only set that I really have a
Yeah,
grudge
just
about.
looking up, it's 10% speed boost and 10% bulge damage. So,
Yeah, I think the medic's like 108%. But anyway, the only set problem that I really have a problem with is the sniper set. I mean, no scope, no headshotting sniper, and he can't get headshot, and he instantly crits. So basically, you've got a no scope sniper running around that can instantly crit if he gets point blank.
well, not really,
Uh,
because body shots aren't that bad anyway. I mean, and it makes them. The other thing is, it makes them not a hard counter to heavy anymore. Whereas he could just one hit a heavy and then just take out their entire offense. Now you can only Girardi them, and then be just a credit to team, which he'd be more credit to team if he just took them out one shot.
Either that or I can't remember if you get the Girardi coating if you body shot him. I mean, not body shot, but no scope him. Because if you do that, then you can just no scope him point blank, then whip out your bushwhacker and pretty much instant.
I don't have it, so I don't know how that works. But either way, Girardi and Bushwhacker was much better combination. Just
The spy set is actually pretty balanced, I have to say.
yeah, it seems pretty good. Except the pistol's pretty useless, but most spies don't even
Oh, I
use
don't know.
that anyway, so.
Yeah, like whenever I play spy and that's one of my mains, I always try to go for backstabs. But like the Letringer, let's just call it the
The
Little
new
Red Miguel.
pistol?
Yes, the new revolver. Let's just call it that. But that's really just emphasizes the fact that it needs to be used as a getaway weapon because it doesn't really do a lot of damage, but it increases your.
Yeah, but either way, if you're using the standard watch, then you can just go over ammo or something anyway and recover it. So it kind of makes it mostly just for Dead Ringer or Cloak and Dagger
Cloak and
spies.
Dagger, which is what
I always thought that the spy and engineer kind of got lucky when it came to their updates because they got weapons. They always get weapons that seem to dynamically change their play style in some way, just like altering it in such a way that the class feels a little bit more fresh. Whereas other classes, you kind of really just don't get anything new. Like the scout, all of his items are from the original update are more or less useless. His pistol's kind of OP, and like the heavy, he didn't really like. He gets a little extra right there, but not a whole lot. So,
Heavy got Natasha, and that thing's just
yeah.
brutally
The,
bending
oh my
over everybody.
god.
doesn't really change the place, although it just kills everything. But the only thing it really
Yeah, it
changed
just made
was
you'd probably it's kind of like a difference between like I'm not sure like attack or defense kind of like what do you want, like do you want hordes of enemies slowed down to kill them, do you want everything to die faster? It's just kind of like a slightly different play style, but nothing like larger scale like the spy or engineer got.
Well, yeah,
yeah.
because
The only
mostly spy engineer, they just get slipped into like one playstyle because in NG you just have the nest and that's all you can do. But now they made the gunslinger and now you can move up and go actually with the team better.
offensive NG.
Yeah, basically. And then the spy just is a lot different. You can like have more ways of evading people. But still, ever since that update, people spy check constantly, so it's a lot harder for a new spy to get into spying.
I actually noticed a lot less spy checking than on the Xbox version.
Wait, have the updates came to Xbox yet? Or are they still arguing about that?
They like never resolved it. So like I think that's kind of why now you have Gabe more or less being Sony's bedmate now, getting all fresh with him about Portal 2 and everything, and giving him Steam. But which kind of makes me think we might see the TF2 updates on PS3 eventually instead of Xbox, or sooner than Xbox would get them.
Now, I think actually E runs the PS3 version, so I'm not too sure about.
Yeah, but either way, I think Microsoft really just needs to be in check because it's coming all with all these new things like increasing the price of Live when PS3 is still free, and then charging for DLC and all that, like for the developers. And then it just, I don't know. I think they just really need to be put in check by Valve, if nobody else.
And plus the Xbox Live as a whole is just really closed in. I know Final Fantasy 4.0 got just basically canceled because Xbox Live was way too strict.
Yeah, that and the new update just basically killed it for me. Basically, it just, I don't know. It doesn't really see a point in it compared to just playing games on a PC, unless you just want to play Halo Reach, which I'm not too interested about anyway.
So back to TF2 then. So honestly, I don't think we'll ever see the Xbox or PS3 update. I mean, I'd love to, but I just don't see it.
Which really isn't a bad thing, because there's just one. I don't know. Vanilla's has its own special charm that I like better than some of the new stuff. Even though I do like playing around with the new stuff, it just all the vanilla loadouts are basically some of the best.
Well, and of course, I wouldn't like 12-year-olds spamming over voice chat. We'll trade 10 unusual blah blah blah.
Yeah, of course.
Well, you already have the dumbass server admins that look for any little excuse to exercise their power that'll go around and be like, you can't trade on this server, it's not allowed. You can't spam the server with trades when like they just died and they have to be like, okay, in chat,
trade.
can I get one of these to one of these? It's not like they're constantly asking, but it's just once and it's just like, I'm gonna ban you. Yeah.
Well, I think I know what they're saying. It's just frustrating when like your team's losing, then you have half the team in their spawn just sitting there trading. But like, there are servers for that, but it's not that intrusive of a thing, really.
I'm honestly surprised that idle servers haven't turned into very big trading servers either.
Well, they have trading servers. If you like look up into the, I think yes, near the top or bottom near the list, there's
Yeah, I know,
like
I'm talking
marketplace
about,
dot.
how the idling servers aren't like doubling as trading servers at this point.
I don't see how idling servers are just going away now that they have offline practice. You can just idle there, and just it's a lot safer, I guess.
See, whenever I idle, I always just do the create server, then just go stand in a corner, because for some reason, whenever I'm on the original achievement idle map, I just do not like dying in it, so I just go off into some corner, don't let anybody in my game, and then just, when I wake up, kill my...
I usually don't idle anymore. I used to do it for like 1 week, and then I realized it's just the same thing I'm doing, just all in one time.
See, I actually don't have much of a chance to play the PC version, so idling's basically the only way I can get all the items in the week, you know? I mean, that sounds really bitch of me, but just that I'm really preoccupied with the Xbox version lately, and I've got a lot of crap I need to do in my life, so, you know.
I used to idle, but I got tired of having to constantly change my resolution and stuff, lest it take up a lot of my RAM and processor and what have you. But I kind of I'm still upset about how they banned the idling tool and then had the stupid ass Halo and everything for people who didn't idle. Like, you know,
Oh, the
we're not
cheaters
we're
laments.
gonna implement this incomplete system and then sit around on our asses with a thumb up our ass about, you know, trading. But that doesn't mean we're not going to punish people who are, you know, not even harming it, because it's not like you have unlimited backpack space. I mean, if somebody idled and got every single item ever and everything, it wouldn't affect anything because there wasn't trading, and I don't think there was crafting initially either.
Oh yeah, it was just mainly the
Ah, the
community. It's the same
crafting.
reason that Pyro got nerfed. The same reason everybody gets nerfed or everybody something happens. It's because the community whines on the Steam servers. Then Valve eventually does something that they think will remedy it, and then they go back on that and do something else. Which isn't a bad system because it's better than most companies do for their games. But still, it comes like a little, a little too late.
Well, not only that, but they sat there and, you know, tried to use an entire group of people who weren't even affecting the game as scapegoats simply because Valve couldn't get their shit together and upload the updates that they had promised for the trading and crafting and what have you. They said, "Well, we're gonna punish idlers because idlers, you know, are so bad," and it's like, no, they're really not.
Well, the same thing. Everybody just looks for scapegoats. The same reason as all this DRM, because people think pirates are terrible people that just want to kill the gaming industry, when it's nothing like that. But it just the trends and the economy. But
See, the way I personally look at pirating is if you don't buy a game, the developer gets nothing. If you pirate the game, the developer gets nothing. So it's basically the exact same thing. But back to TF2 once again. I've been hearing a lot about fraudulent trades and how a bunch of people have been naming their hats unusual such and such. And I just want to give our little tip of the whenever we record. I don't know if it's going to be weeks or months or what, but look at the colors of the names and see if there are any quotes around the names so that, like, if you're trading an unusual mirror, then make sure it doesn't have quotes around it or the name's purple, I believe it is. And generally, just make sure you know what you're trading for.
well, I think they fixed that because now it has an outline around every item with its classification, whether it's regular, vintage, or unusual, which I think is a good
Yeah, that's what I was
addition.
talking about.
And but yeah, the first couple days people were just like going haywire with it, and then you have all these people, you know, falling into trades or trading 5 hats for the Chieftains Challenge, which next week becomes really common because of crates. And